All right, Will Robinson, of course, Acting Up and Acting Up Radio or slash podcast. I've had such a hard time getting used to that because as a radio guy of, I don't know, 150 years, I was one of the original dinosaurs. Back in the 80s, it's difficult for me to just swing into the podcast world, mainly because everybody does a podcast. Now, isn't this true? So with that being said, I don't feel so special anymore if I say I'm doing a podcast as opposed to saying I'm doing a radio show. But today on the show, I'm very excited. And the cool thing is that you also might be looking at this because this is kind of a first, and I'll be doing some wiggity whack to this and adding some lower thirds and so on. But if you are watching this, there's a good chance you're also watching on the kidscasting.com YouTube channel. And my guest today, very excited about this. We're going to talk about the business, is Coach MC, the Coach MC, and I should have all your stuff up. Look in the lower thirds here; you'll see that's his website and so on. Give us the official once over, Coach. Can we call you by your real name, or are you like incognito as Coach?
It is my deeper personality that I've discovered in my more mature years. So actually, the coach is Lorenzo, and Lorenzo is the coach. And as we're speaking of business and acting and performing, the coach is perfectly fine. I feel totally identical with this person.
You are. And by the way, you are. I like your backdrop, man. I know that you probably painted that, right?
Right. I did this by myself.
Even the drips.
Drips. I got a new drawing over here. I always create. I always draw and paint. Good. It keeps me it's my exhaust valve for sure.
That's good. Your exhaust valve. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so just so you all know, you can check out kidscasting.com there, and you can see a lot of the information. Parent Academy is a place you can go on there to see the information like this. Because one thing I want to be clear about, we do a lot of live broadcasts. I do a lot of them. I've done them with Lorenzo, the Coach MC, and the reason why he calls himself, by the way, side note, MC, is every once in a while he'll bust out a rhyme, which is cool. So anyway, with that being said, you can go to kidscasting.com, check out the Parent Academy, get information. Go there, get a profile. It's kind of your entry point, or even if you've been doing this a while, it's what we call a casting network. And I want to be clear about that because, Coach, you know that a lot of them like LA Casting, Backstage, other different places are out there. I don't want to mention too many of them, but they're out there, and it's kind of the new thing nowadays that we have the power as actors or performers to not only sit by my phone, which, by the way, I just got an avail for a commercial, cross my fingers, but wait for our agents to call us, because back in the day,
yes.
we were waiting for the call to come in.
Yes,
and power.
No, and knocking on doors all the time, like being relentlessly but basically you had no choice than waiting. Yeah. It was tough back in the days, and now, like, the thing that I like about the digital revolution is also that you can be far more creative. Like back in the days, it was like you had your headshots, you had maybe a show reel, and that was it. So they really had to be like some sort of foreseer, some sort of mediums to really capture your essence and your personality. Nowadays, there is no problem in promoting yourself, your personality, your character, your edge way quicker and way easier and way more profound than with the old technology. So I think that is beautiful. And also with kids, it's really nice because since they're young, really to grasp what their talent is really about and really to look close up what's so cool about them and discover those beautiful facets. I mean, it's nice that we have those technologies now.
Well, one thing that you said that's kind of cool is that I also think it helps build the confidence of an actor if you know that you are not just simply going up to someone and saying, here's my headshot and my resume. I hope you can gather everything from me. Now we can do I got an app, we got websites, we got Instagram. And
filters. Yes,
it pushes people, agents and creatives that are interested in possibly booking us or auditioning us to see that we are not just a headshot.
Yes.
I mean, I go to, I did the show 100 years ago, literally in the 80s, Chorus Line. Who am I anyway? Am I my resume? This is a picture of a person that I don't know. Who is he anyway? Does he really want me? The point is that you're pushing out this picture, but now you can give depth to yourself, which gives a confidence in saying, yeah, I'm an actor, and check it out. I got a lot you can see.
It is truly four-dimensional if you think about it. It's not two-dimensional anymore. It's not even three-dimensional. It's four-dimensional because you have audio, you have visual, you have images, and you have your own choice of really promoting the product in so many different ways. You can do it as an interview. You can do a show reel. You can set up a scene for yourself. You can create something. You can have your backdrop as a green screen and create something. So it's possibilities are just skyrocketing with each and every day. So it's beautiful that we have those various platforms. And also, like you said, I agree 100%. It gives us also more self-awareness. It reassures us. It gives us more practice also, because now we can, try out so many things. And basically what we had back in the days, like, it sounds so romantic, and it was, and we really had to be so creative and invent, but it was exhausting. It took so much work, and sometimes it really didn't work, and it looked bad, and like not how you have expected to be. So now that you can immediately see what the outcome looks like, correct it, and then refurbish it, and then boom, send it out, and immediately get the validation or the response you're looking for. That's great.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to take a small break, and before we do, Coach, give us the website addresses. You can see them on the lower thirds here, but give us all the places we can get a hold of you.
Sure. Beautiful. Thank you so much. It is the CoachMc Studio on YouTube. And then I have my website, which currently, I know you get this, but awesome. Right now we're working on it. In 1 month, the whole new refurbished website that we have running now for 3 years will be out, and it's going to be the CoachMc.studio.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, it's going to be great. We got a lot of new content and way easier to use, and also more knowledge and more experience. And I also am present, of course, on Instagram as the CoachMc. So check me out. And whatever questions you might got, just shoot me up. Let me know whatever problems, whatever curious things you want to find about. I'm there always. It's my game.
Yeah, that's your game. All right, hey folks, Acting Up and Acting Up Radio / the podcast, brought to you by kidscasting.com. We're going to go to a small break, and when we come back,
Welcome to the kidscasting.com video series. You may be considering submitting your kids for singing roles in film, plays, or TV. It is important to consider a few things to best prepare your kid and hopefully book the role. Involve your kids in musical theater at schools or as an extracurricular activity. Surround your child with music and people who like to sing. Be a good role model. Sing around the house while doing chores, cooking, or in the car. Sing songs with your kid. As your child gets better at singing, start exposing them to the public, maybe karaoke, family gatherings, or talent shows. Kids should have a couple of songs they can sing very well, prepared for auditions. These songs should be age appropriate and ones that your kid likes and can connect to. It is okay to have your kid learn a song that may be a little sad, but they should only sing it if the casting director needs a contrasting song. Thanks for watching. Come back often for more videos.
All right, Acting Up and ActingUpRadio.com, and of course the podcast, and brought to you by, of course, kidscasting.com. That's kidscasting.com. On Instagram, it is kidscasting_official. Check us out. I do a lot of broadcasting there, a lot of live broadcasting. And so today we're here with my guest, which I'm very excited. I think I'm going to have him on every week doing a segment at least. And it is Lorenzo. He is the CoachMc. You can check out his website at
the CoachItaly.com. I'm sorry. Soon it will be the CoachMc.studio. I'm so glad. And then it's the CoachMc Studio on YouTube.
I can't wait for you to get that straight. Get a shirt or something that says it.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, so we were talking in the last segment, the beginning segment, and one thing off air we were talking about is how authenticity is really coming into play in regards to our industry nowadays. Commercials, I would say, especially because there a lot of the casting calls now, they're kind of irritating. They're like, oh, looking for a real family with real dog. I'm like,
Yes.
as opposed to what, a wind up dog? But it's slightly irritating. But I get it because being realistic, like I did in my video with Andrew from KS Visions, the photographer who's amazing in LA. If someone's selling you glasses, you don't necessarily in this day and age, maybe back in the 80s and 90s, but nowadays you want someone that puts them on and you go, hey, I really need these glasses, not someone going, hey, these are awesome glasses. What do you think of hey? Yeah. Lens crafters, everybody is gorgeous, and you can tell they don't wear glasses. So authenticity, let's talk about that because moms and dads out here on kidscasting.com are looking to try to get their kids into the business, and they ask me, if you were going to say one thing, what's the most important thing you could say? Is it headshot, resume, a major demo reel? What should I do? Hair, makeup? Is it authenticity? Is that what it is?
It is surely like time shifted. I guess what we're talking about is style, and till the 90s, a certain style was in place in playing and promoting and marketing whatever products, and now it is gone because the market now splintered in so many different cells and organisms, and it's so much variation also through digital revolution. So what we need now is to have a compass and orientation, and this is super important also for kids, so they can grow up with the right style, which is not having a style at all, just being themselves. Now they have the freedom to portray themselves as just what they are, and I think this is the most interesting part. We don't want to see a mask anymore. We don't want to see like false smiles and false tears. We want to see what people are really affected about. And kids, that is so beautiful about kids. Why taking that away from them, like putting them a cage on in which they have to perform is so annoying and irritating. So give freedom just to finding what they really want to express.
Right. I think you said it off the break in regards to the facade that kids can have, and maybe what they see, their perception of acting, because a lot of times they do imitate, like you said. Sure. And if they're seeing the Saturday morning cartoons, I hate to be rude, but I was telling you about a story at one point where I was asked to coach a kid, and I really don't do a lot of coaching, like in regards to the acting parts, but not because obviously I can't, but just because I usually try to deal with the business parts. But the mom said, "Come in and take a look at my kid," because they're trying to go for an agent/manager, and I'm like, cool. So I went in, and the kid's reading for me, and he kind of goes like this. He goes, yeah, so anyway, I'm telling you guys, well, let's go over there. And I'm like, oh, hold on a second, buddy. This is not a theater. This is not theater, is it? No. Okay, so even in theater, that would have been big. And the problem is that a lot of the Saturday mornings, or I don't want to say anime, but a lot of the stuff that's happening right nowadays is so big for kids. But right. I think that maybe that's not a good place to start. Where would be a good place to start, Coach?
Well, first of all, I totally agree, and I'm baffled myself because I also work with kids a lot and do workshops over the weekend, and like a lot of those kids coming in, they have such a fixed idea of how they want to sell their lines, of how they want to portray themselves and act. And I was like, first of all, what are you doing? It's like, yeah, I saw this, and this is kind of working. Like, for whom? Like, is this fun for you? Like, is this really what you want to do? Is this what acting should be about? Copying something else that was a copy already, that was a copy of a copy already? Just be yourself, right? Isn't that more fun to explore? Yeah. What do you have to say about this? Well, actually, I don't like it at all, so don't like it. Yeah. So isn't that beautiful? And, using what they really have at their core is the most incredible, most exciting thing that we can all do as human beings, but especially with kids, like seeing them really blossoming up and burgeoning like into a great spontaneous act, like just picking out whatever ideas they have along the way and saying the lines among it. That is what also the market is looking for. Yeah. So that is, I think the new normal is to be authentic. The new normal is to be weird. The new normal is to be truly yourself.
Yeah.
Exploring that. So, and that is a great opportunity to really, let those facades go away. Plus, if you always work with masks and facades and copies, do you really get an idea of what you want to do in your life? Like later on, if you always play something that is,
way out.
Also on you're like that isn't really what you really want to. You want to explore where you want to head. So, and that you can only do by doing the things that are really fun to you.
Sure. And again, imitating people, I get a lot of direct messages, and I know you do too, but I get people saying, look, I'm really good. Can you take a look at this video of me doing like an imitation of Marlon Brando or Johnny Depp? And I'm like, okay, so you dig those people. I get it. And so you want to be like them. I get that too. But if they really wanted Johnny Depp, they'd hire Johnny Depp. And, and you got to think to yourself, if you're doing an imitation of a famous actor or a performer already, then perhaps the production you're in may be a little cheesy, because if they really are trying to get someone to be so broad, it might be good if you're doing SNL type of work. You know what I mean? If they want a Donald Trump,
that's totally fine. Yeah.
Yeah. If they want someone to pretend they're whoever, every time I mention someone's name now, like I was thinking of Urkel, people are probably like, "Who is this dude? Will he's so old?" Yeah. Thanks, brother.
That was awesome.
Thank you. But again, being authentic. Also, I want to swing this really quickly into a lot of the photos that people are taking. Like I get people that are taking photos, kids, right? Kidscasting.com. You see some of these things, and the kids are like the girls are in sequins. They look like they're 25, and it's like, this is not what you want. What you want is you want to be Joe and Josephine normal.
And like we said, like before, like in the first segment, like the digital revolution that has given us so many powerful tools is like really explore, get a grip of the core of your kid. What is it that your kid is really interested in? What is it that he plays with the most passion? Right now, push for that. Like pick the small niche and go for that, and let him have fun exploring that. He can have, he will have so much time during his career and during his life, like contaminating other fields and other areas, and so let him first have fun and see what he's really great at. And the same thing is true for pictures as well. I see them like posing sometimes and like doing all this, like where are his eyes? Like where is? I need the person. I want to know who he is. I mean, we have people. I think the first advice that we can give like to parents is like, don't worry. The market has become so crazy and so big. Right, it's so diversified. There is actually space and room for everybody. Don't worry that your kid doesn't fit in. It fits in. Eventually there is a market, there is a product, there's a movie, there is somebody who's waiting for your kid. So let your
being normal.
Right.
Yeah. And, to be very clear about my statement, and I'm sure you agree, is that it's great to have all of these, a wide range of things. And if you do different characters, it's great. But I say to you, get the basics. It's like dance, ballet first, and you get all these things so you know your body, and you're not just funky and you're imitating like what you think someone looks like when they dance. You have the basics because those things help build an awareness of your body and the awareness of who you are, and then from there you can expand. Singing is another good one. I hear a lot of people. My little daughter, my 8-year-old daughter, had an opening night last night for Beauty and the Beast. It was awesome. I want to start crying right now. But the cool thing was that it was an amazing production. But here's the thing. You hear some of the girls singing, and they really do what's called an octave slur. They're like, and I'm like, okay. So technically that means you don't have training. You might be good raw, but you don't know how to hit the note crisp and hit it and go. The point is that learn the basics and then allow your body to do style that you develop over time.
Again, like coming back, absolutely, I agree. Like, get a grip of your core. What is it that you can sing best? What is it that you can dance best? What is it that really, drives you crazy when you hear? What is the rhythm that automatically activates your body? Don't try to put something in, insert something in that really don't belong to you. Just take, he or she, you will recognize immediately. Like parents, if you look at your kid like candid ways, like observing closely, like that is what he likes to move, or like that is the way she likes to sing. Exactly, drill for that.
Sure.
I always say sometimes we have to get rid of the outer layers, of the outer shells, the artificial shells that are really not belonging to the client, to the person that is underneath all that. And usually when you get a grip on that core, when you drill down to the core, that's where the magic happens. And then it's actually so easy to take it from there.
Yeah, just so you know, parents, what we're really saying, I don't want this to sound complicated, neither does Lorenzo, the CoachMc, but in reality, to simplify this, is that just try to keep a bit of a rein on your kids from being a little too out there and doing weird pictures of them looking older than they are, because what they really want, in whether it's Hollywood or abroad, is they want real kids and real people. So that's the important thing. So
plus, I absolutely agree. And just to add for that is like what casters see and production companies see very, very often is like kids that are already trying to compete with somebody, trying to live up with somebody, trying to be. Just let them be. First of all, they will have time enough to compete. Yeah. They will have time enough to look older and wiser. Like naturally, like what they have to give right now. That is the most important thing. And Like you said, first get the fundamentals. Once you got a good grip, you got a good idea of what your fundamentals are and what you want to work with, then it's easy to add layers, to add facets, to add new skills. Like you've proved that. Like in 38 plus years of career, you added so many various talents and techniques to your skill set, and made you really outstanding, because you can really serve and cater a lot of various performances, and that can happen. But let it happen over time. Eventually will blossom up also naturally. Your inclinations, your talents will also, if you drive this road, like acting career road, you will implement that naturally.
Yeah, and interesting, that side note I will say is, parents, let your kids learn as much as they can, ride skateboards, climb walls, be safe, whatever, learn how to ice skate and accumulate those things, learn how to do magic, only because those are skills that are very important and quite honestly will help your kids in their future, because more things in life, the more opportunities you are open up to you. Hey, we're going to take a small break. And by the way, one thing I will tell you, parents, is that there's a homework assignment I'd like you to do with your kids. And it's a very funny thing, is I want you to watch movies by this certain actress, okay? And the reason why I want you to watch movies by this certain actress is because she was extremely professional, adorable, amazing. When you watch her work, it's mind-blowing of her age and what she did in her career. And that person is Shirley Temple. If you watch Shirley Temple movies, I watched them with my wife and my kids. I got a little tingle. I had no clue. Recently, my little daughter, who has very curly hair, looks just like Shirley Temple, did a little report, and she had to make a bottle look like Shirley Temple. And it's funny, out of all the kids in her class, she was given the last one. They could be like George Washington, Martin Luther King. And the very last one, they said to my daughter, well, I'm sorry, you're left with this one, and it's Shirley Temple. And she's like, okay. Well, we watch these movies, and I have to tell you, moms and dads, unbelievable that little girl had. I mean, I tap, and I'm telling you, boom. I mean, she was like, boom.
She was so precise and funny and lofty.
Lofty, great word. Yeah, and she was real. I mean, even though it seemed like it might be schlocky, when you listen to her, I just was like, I love that little girl. And that's why she was the box office smash for so many years in the 30s, because she was authentic. Even though she was being Shirley Temple, it was awesome. So, hey, we're going to take a small break, Acting Up and Acting Up Radio, and you can check us out. Of course, our sponsor, our people, the ones that bring it all together for us, is kidscasting.com. Check that out, kidscasting.com, and on Instagram, it's kidscasting_official. I'm Will Roberts. I am the host, and my guest today, which I'm going to convince to do a segment every week, I hope, Lorenzo, the CoachMc, and his website, which is on the lower third right there, so he doesn't have to say it. Don't even bother with it. You have no lines in this.
TheCoachItaly.com.
We're going to take a small break, and when we come back, we'll close up the show. Hang tight.
Please, because I'm truly curious, let me know what kind of techniques you're using to get ready for the big day. If you're here for the first time, consider subscribing and share this video to your community. We're trying to build a strong community of actors for ever better performances, truly remarkable performances. Do love act. So I strongly encourage you to stop advertising yourself as a humble, well-educated, very good actor and start innovating your craft in the most incredible ways you can actually think of. Be the corner, not the framework. Be the edge, not the plate. Be the loudest, the scariest, the strangest, the funniest, the most desirable, the most compelling. Be the rudest, be the most gentle, be the best dressed, be the best smelling, be the most, be the best, be the limit stretcher. Be remarkable.
All right, Will Robinson, of course, Acting Up and Acting Up Radio and podcast, brought to you by, of course, kidscasting.com. And I'm here with my guest to close up this whole show. It's only a half an hour. I normally do an hour, but I know people's attention spans are so short, Coach, that we're just giving them a half an hour. Plus, we're on YouTube. If you check out Kids Casting Official on YouTube, you can check it out. And I know Coach here will be throwing it around. Coach, let's get some of your stuff before we end this. I want to get your final thoughts on something. You can get a hold of you at
thecoachitaly.com.
And your Instagram?
The CoachMc.
Okay. Anything else?
Or YouTube, it's the CoachMc Studio.
Okay. You really kind of specialize. You do privates with people, Skype-wise, and coach. Give us a little rundown.
I absolutely. I do the whole segment. I do the whole spectrum. I cover as much as I can. Like, people can reach out to me via Skype. We can do one-to-one sessions. I also love to travel on set and be around with those guys, or getting ready for like a big audition, or sometimes like shooting a whole show reel. Like we cover pretty much the whole range. Always trying to put out new information on my Instagram account, and also try to give free advice and also hook up with you. So it's, we're trying really to help out people as much as we can.
You got great stuff. I have to admit, when I saw your whole representation on YouTube, I'm like, Ma, you're the real deal. You're legit. Let's just end this by saying that having the tools, and we talked about a lot of different things on the show, but having the tools, like for instance on KidsCast, you can get a profile, which is kind of your mock website. What are some of the basic things, really quickly in about 2 minutes, that you think people, moms and dads, need to be thinking about moving forward, getting their kids into this business?
Well, I mean, first of all, besides all, of course, like the cornerstones that we need to get our business done, like pictures and stuff like that. But like, really look for your kid, get a grip of the kid's core. What is your kid like most interested right now? What is the niche you can pick for your kid? What the kid drives the most? Then second of all, your kid is always great in imitate. Kids usually are great imitators. They can impersonate and change and really at a great pace and be fast in their breaks. So really work with your kid. Also have fun at home. You can do this like sort of, with your kid on your own. Like, work on those transitions, work on the fastness, work on those breaks, work on switching and having fun with different faces, different temperatures, different emotions, because that is actually a great tool set your kid can use in a casting director's office. Because sometimes, like, the production company says, "Hey, can you play this in a sad way? Or can you scream at top of your lungs? Or can you dance while you say this?" Right? Sometimes they come up with crazy ideas because they see something and they want to explore a little bit more. So those little games you can practice with your kids might turn out to be very helpful and in the audition room. And third thing is, like, get your kid in touch with music, with rhythm, like with sound, because that is not only lifting the mood, it's great to work with, but it's also giving your kid, like, right from the start, like, a good sense of rhythm and how the delivery can be also put in. Songs are also a great way to deliver insight. So working with songs, rhythm, music, like, basically it generally is a great way of an easy way to work, but that has consistency also.
Absolutely. The Coach, MC Lorenzo, you are the man, the myth, the legend. I'm so glad that we have our time together doing what we do. Kidscasting.com, check it out. This is Acting Up Radio, the podcast and the radio show. We'll see you next week, and if you have any questions, by all means, give us a little email, throw us a note in a bottle. It doesn't smoke signals. We'll take whatever we can. Make sure you check out the Coach, and make sure you go to kidscasting.com to get yourself a profile. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Coach, for hanging out with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Peace.
See you next time.